What's going on, folks? We're finally live. Tim and Tim show. Another edition, baby. Sunday night. That's how we get down. A little bit later than when we typically start, but it's all good because we are still here in the building. AB. We got Skywalker Boxing in the building. We got Terrible Tim Jr. in the building. We got Poppy Chun Yayo. Light
Heavy
on the
on the
pot.
poppy, light on the yayo.
Okay, I almost got you wrong right there again. We're good though. Heavy on the coffee, light on the yayo. Remember that, folks. But we out here, so we appreciate everybody that's been standing by. So salute to all of you. We got Christopher in the building, Coach Chuck Dean in the building, Zeb Winery. Ernest himself dropped something in there. Rodolfo Rivera Jr. up in the mix here. So we appreciate all of y'all for stepping in, dropping some love right there. So yeah, another edition of the Tim and Tim Show. We should have liked and subscribed to everyone for the most part. We'll do the same. Got to keep this love reciprocated. But anyway, man, it wasn't a huge boxing weekend just from an overall standpoint, but we did have a few contests that went down. Probably the marquee being Brandon Adams, who was a winner, a contender, amongst some other things. But he showed up, he showed up and he fought, according to some, might have did his things as far as the win column against Andreas Katzourakis, who was holding it down from Greece. And this was I guess you can say, nip and tuck fight right here. Want to get thoughts on it because it ended up being a split decision victory for Katzourakis, but there were some who felt that Brendan Adams might have got the nod there or probably deserved the nod, Hey, it all depends on what you're seeing, and we never know with these judges. And I do like the fact that Brendan at the end, he said, hey, you got to win every round. That's his mindset as far as on the boxing scene. You got to win every round. And I respect that right there. But, yeah, generally speaking, what were your thoughts on it there?
It was a good fight, man. I thought Brandon Adams edged the fight. He was more active. He had Katzourakis on the back foot. Katzourakis was landing a lot of good shots on the inside, especially going to the body on Adams. It was a good fight. I wouldn't say, I don't know about a robbery because it was kind of a close fight. You know what I mean? The earlier part of the fight too, Katzourakis was had a little more gas in the tank. But yeah, I think Brandon Adams should have got the nod on that fight. It was a great fight, man.
Yeah, for me, I picked Brandon Adams by split decision pre-fight. We turn ours in with the Champ Ross's fantasy boxing prediction league. So I had Adams by split decision pre-fight. Honestly, I was really worried about my pick once I saw the size of that ring. That ring size is what I call the Telemundo ring. When y'all hear me say Telemundo ring, that's the ring I'm talking about. You got a middleweights and they're fighting in the 18 by 18 foot ring, and you got a guy who's an incredibly talented boxer and Adams, who's gone the distance with Charlo. And I just knew it was going to be a problem for him, for him to be able to, execute his footwork and things that we've seen him do in the past. Cat had a hell of a game plan. He had his big juggernaut head right in the middle of my man's face the whole night. Some would argue that he was leading with his head a little bit too much. He definitely was getting away with some low blows. But I feel like it was up to Adams to use his feet to move around, get off the ropes, and not let his back hit the ropes. I felt like Adams' corner was giving him bad instructions for the first 5 rounds. Just telling him to slip to the side and throw to the body. No, man, don't let your back hit the ropes. Use your boxing, slide, duck. You know what I'm saying? Pop, the way he did it at the end of the fight was the way he should have been doing it the whole fight. He made the fight tougher for him. So, honestly, I have to slightly disagree with my man Skywalker. Katzourakis pinned Adams to the rope for most of the fight and kind of controlled him and left him where he wanted him to be at, and used his left arm to make sure that he couldn't escape out the right side for Adams. And the last half of the fight I gave to Adams. The first half I gave to Katz by really close, just by control. So split decision was fine with me. Either way, draw would have been fine with me. Either way, wide cards, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're muted there, Tim.
Yeah, you muted.
My bad. I was gonna say I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend that I know what you guys are talking about. But Ernest, you made a good point. You think that the one fighter won because he pushed the other fighter back to the ropes more. Now, Josh, you are an official, and maybe you can elaborate on this. You guys are supposed to judge on who controls the center of the ring more. Am I not right?
I wouldn't say who controls the center of the ring specifically. Kind of the ring generalship goes into the fold there. So if you're being an aggressive fighter and you are pushing someone back, that is certainly C. But that being said, if you're the fighter going back and you are able to successfully fight on the back foot, which we see with certain boxers who certainly are more on the technical side, then that's something that you really have to have an eye on as well, so it can vary, I would say.
All right, so with that being said, you heard Ernest's take. We know what you think of now. Can you go back and apply that to your decision on why you decided the fight went the way that it went?
Oh yeah, so I was watching it and I actually I didn't give it my undivided attention, but I did give it a good deal of attention, and based on what I saw there, I can see why Katzourakis won. He really had Brendan Adams backed against the ropes for a good bit of the contest. And I think that is what the judges were likely seeing, because of the fact that while Adams did have success in pockets while throwing and kind of just fighting back, what you saw was Katzourakis really pushing the effort in terms of him being the aggressor, him really being the one that was dictating how and where the fight was fought. When we've seen Adams in the past, we've seen that he can fight in the trenches, need be to a certain degree or whatnot, but we didn't get to see him really box and move in any capacity, and he's able to do so despite his physique, because he's a solidly built guy, but he can box when he needs to box, and he just wasn't able to do this. Katzourakis was, like Ernest said, had his head in his chest, really just pushing them back, digging in there on the ropes, and both had their success. So it's a matter of trajectory when it comes to the judges, depending on what side you're on, what you're seeing, what you favor. Sometimes it could be things with the head snapping, it's just a multitude of things that can come into the fold there. But based on what I saw there, yeah, I can't say that Katzourakis winning was an issue or a robbery or anything of that nature, because he was the guy that seemed to be pressing it the most in that contest from what I saw.
And you know what? Basically, what I seen was the same thing that everybody else seen. It's just the beginning part of the fight. The first half was Katzourakis dominating. I seen Brandon Adams in the later rounds, dominating, doing the same thing, coming back, and it was a real close fight, man. It could have went. It was a split decision, so hey, it was a close fight, man.
Now maybe the biggest problem of all this is that I have no idea what the but so why is it though that I don't know any of this? Like, who promoted the fight? Like, what? Am I not in the channels enough?
No, you are. This is Overtime Boxing. They're new to the scene. So Overtime Boxing, they started in the AAU world for basketball. That's where they primarily were applying their trade. They got into boxing here maybe about a year plus ago, somewhere in that nature. And they've been having shows, and they're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So this was one of their shows. I think it was Overtime 8 is what they call it. So this is the 8th show that they've done. They have a partnership with The Zone, but they're pulling in an audience, or I think they're still in the process of building up and pulling in a boxing audience compared to the basketball audience. While there are some cross intersections culturally speaking, that being said, boxing, certainly the boxing fan is different than the basketball fan to a certain degree. So I think that's a part of it, but they have been building up, and Brandon Adams is one of their fighters. Tierra Brown is actually one of their fighters as well.
They go extra round too, bro. They have that rule where they go extra round, where you've seen the
No draw.
No draw. You get an extra overtime round.
Okay.
O'Shea Jones fought in there too.
Oh yeah, that is right. Yeah. O'Shea was on there.
Man, that was a
world title fight.
Incredible fight.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say that the Cats and what's his name fight was like the Serrano Katie Taylor fight, where the European fighter was leading with their head and the referee just wasn't doing much about it. And for me, I kind of agree with it, but again, everybody has a role to play, and I think it was up to Brandon to switch the game plan up a little bit earlier versus doing the same thing for the first 4 rounds. Where was the uppercut for? I think I didn't see an uppercut from Brandon Adams until the 7th round, while my man had his head over his knee pretty much for the entire fight, bro. And Adams wasn't able to get the angle that he needed to. Maybe that's what it was, but I don't know. We just didn't see a lot of uppercuts from him. I believe that would have been an effective punch, but the referee could have taken a point because it was the low blows, bro. I forgot about the low blow. Tim, man, Katz was giving Adams. He probably gave him 50 low blows on the opposite side where the referee was. The referee never switched his position, and he was giving him combination two pieces to the sack, bro. The bell end for my UK people. You feel me? Combos to it, and
the bullocks.
Yeah, he had to be warned for such. The referee didn't take a point. It was referee Taylor. I forget his first name, but he's pretty solid ref. He had a strong, hard warning, and but he ended up not taking a point there. So,
bro, the 2-piece to the balls was followed by a 2-piece to the nugget. Like when my man's complaining about it, hands go down, yeah, oh.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah,
Josh, you're a referee, man. I mean, with you knowing that Katz was smashing my man up on the opposite side away from him, is that something that? I mean, what would you guys do? Do you reposition, or do you? Because he stayed in that position for the majority of the fight.
Well, as a referee, you're surveying things, or you're walking. You're usually operating. They tell you to maintain your V. It's on the open end. So, for instance, if you have 2 orthodox fighters, or you have an orthodox and a southpaw, then you're gonna know exactly what it is. If you have 2 orthodox fighters, it's gonna look a little bit different, but that being said, either side will work out. But they want you to maintain a V, so you're kind of just looking for those types of things. Now, in terms of going through the process where someone has low blow, you, of course, pay attention to it, and you do issue the warnings, as I think his name Steve Taylor did, and all of that. One of the other things is you kind of just take into account just how the fight is being fought. And we know trunks come into play, where the belt line is, all of that stuff. So you're just looking to make sure that you are catching what is officially a low blow and what may not be, because that can vary, and they're moving quick in there. And I can attest to that. Sometimes you don't see everything as an official. That is a true thing. And then some fighters are a little bit more craftier than others, so they'll take advantage in whatever ways they can, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, you're issuing the warning, caution, and then warnings that you need to issue, take points away and all that stuff, and ultimately it can lead to a disqualification. But you're trying to position yourself in a way that you can look for any situation where things like that are happening. But that being said, you can't necessarily force it, in the sense that you may just be in a position where you can't just be right there and look, and if it's a real dire situation, you can talk to your, at least on the amateur side, because I'm not pro at the moment, but you can talk to your other officials. In their case, that might be the supervisor, like, hey, did you see what happened? Was that a low blow? If something seemed to be off or something like that, that is an option you have as well.
For a referee, though, there's even more components that come to my mind. Like, some fighters have a higher tolerance for a nut shot, and you might not really be able to notice that they were affected by it. And some fighters might get hit on the belt and flop like they got hit in the nuts. So you have to also be aware of that aspect of refereeing the low blow.
So what you're saying is you got to go take a cold walk before you fight. That goes against sweating, though. You feel me? Like you dunk the bottom half in the ice bag.
Not necessarily. That's a good point. That's a good point that Tim made there, though. It's one of those things. I know on the amateur side, for instance, if someone gets hit with a low blow, or they say they've been hit with a low blow, then the referee is going to give an 8 count, and so you'll know if they're trying to fake it or what, because they're going to be like, hello, what are you doing? Why are you giving me 8 count? If you read the rule book, that's how it's supposed to go. But they'll get an 8 count, so you're automatically going to do that. If it's an unintentional low blow, essentially, the situation is they get up to 1.5 minutes in 30-minute increments to recover from it. If they don't continue and it's unintentional, then they lose the fight. So they don't want that situation to be up on them. So if they can continue, then they're going to try to continue. They don't want that loss on it. A little bit different in the pros, though.
In my whole life, I've never seen a fighter need the whole time to recover.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple. Not in boxing, but in UFC.
Let me rephrase that. I never seen a boxer take the whole time that I thought needed it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What was Gongola and I forgot, man. He went low on my man because he was getting his ass whooped. Is this big, tall? He's like 7-foot Russian dude.
Are you talking about now or back in the
day? In the past it was a
heavy. Galata.
Yeah, Galata
against
Riddick Bowe. I was
Riddick Bowe, yeah.
Oh, bro, we would have had. Listen, man, it would have been a problem. Bro.
They had 2 fights with low blows.
That would have been a problem. All right, okay. I might have roundhouse my man after a little bit.
Well, they turned into something there in the second.
Lone soccer kick.
But what I will say is, from an official perspective, from what I've seen, especially on the amateur side, I'd imagine Tim can attest to it, since he's mentioning that he's never seen anyone take the full time. Though on the amateur side, you're serious about getting that W usually, so you're not gonna fake it in a way that it's gonna be detriment to you and your record and you moving forward. Because as I mentioned, there on the amateur side, if you get hit and you can't continue, then and it's unintentional, then that could go that's gonna end up just being a loss for you there. You know what I'm saying? So these guys, they want to go, and I've seen some get hit low or whatever. They're like, yeah, and I tell them keep it up or whatever. I stop it, whatever. These youngsters are ready to get in there, but generally, if you're a fighter that you're trying to get to it, unless it's really legit hurt you in a way that you just can't do anything, they're gonna brush it off and keep moving forward for sure.
It might be time for some. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
No, I totally forget what I was gonna say. Champ got me over here thinking about the Witherspoon merch. I had a good point. Champ, you gotta hit me up. WS_boxing on Instagram. I got you. All right. So I remember what I was gonna say. This very topic is why Usyk has a black eye in my heart, because when I saw the boys hit him with that body shot,
yep,
I'm gonna call it a body shot.
Yep,
he
Yeah.
milked it, and then that exposed me to realize his history of doing that.
Mm.
So I appreciate Usyk. He's a hard worker and everything like that, but that just put that little asterisk up there for me. And I thought, and if we have to think of a strategy again for Tyson Fury, you got to think that this guy is going to work his body.
Right.
He got to get down there though. You got to, hey, at
He can do
6'9",
Yeah.
you gotta reach down there to.
He got to do it. He got.
I hope he do.
And
I
look,
hope he do.
He's strong enough, and Usyk's body's weak enough that he could throw some arm shots. He don't have to bend all the way down. He's 300 pounds almost every time he gets in the ring. He can use some arm punches and effectively slow Usyk down. I would like for him to sit down and throw body shots to break his ribs. But anyway, to go back to our original point, this is why I like to bet against Usyk sometimes, man. Because that body is questionable.
No, that's a good point right there. That's when it's to the detriment in terms of that's a situation where low blow or something was ruled a low blow, and there are many who felt that it wasn't a low blow necessarily, and Usyk, he took advantage of that. He was able to recover because he was legit hurt, and he might not have been able to get up had it been not ruled a low blow, and they did the 10 count. Because it took him about a good minute or more before he recovered and felt, good to go. But when you look at it on replay, right there on the belt line, I know when I'm in front of him there on the amateur side, we do the little thing in front of him. I tell, hey, keep your punches above the belt line, and then I just kind of put my hands there, show it right there. So it's very interesting.
Again. I picked him last time. I'm gonna pick him again.
Oh, I'm picking Usyk as well for sure.
Again, this time I think I'm taking it by KO.
Yeah, I did Usyk last time as well, but that was a good point though. That Dubois fight, Dubois just caught him with one. It was very interesting.
Yeah. I think it's about time for us to
He
start.
hit him in the dick, man. That's what happened. It wasn't his balls; it was his dick, man. I hit it, man.
You got meat shots. Arby's, we hit the meats. Pause.
Yo,
like I said, man, I think it's about time that we institute. We should use replay like the NFL uses. There's enough camera angles they have where someone could be in the referee's ear or the coaches that are watching the fight. They could be like, "Hey, look, ref, it's time that somebody need to pay attention to what's happening on the offside." At least inform, like, hey, listen, man, he's hitting them with low blows on the offside. Watch that. And if you got extra referees that are supposed to be ringside, just in case something happens to that one, they should be able to witness and view some of these things and inform the other referee in between rounds so that things get squared away. There's time for it. There's a whole minute in between rounds. There's plenty enough time to go and review some things and make sure the referee's on top of some sneaky stuff that's happening.
Yeah. I mean, other sports have adopted it in more of a wide capacity, that replay factor. I like the fact that some do it on knockdowns and things of that nature, which I think is needed. At the very least, the knockdowns that happen, those should go to replay and beyond just Vegas or certain little spots that have it active.
Have you judged You also have to judge, right?
Right.
So what is your mindset as you're judging a fight? I genuinely want to know this. What is your mindset as you're judging a fight and you see a knockdown happen and you know that it's automatically a 10-8 round or whatever? What is your mindset going forward? Are you thinking, okay, I can take the rest of this round off? Or are you thinking, well, someone might come back, and can someone come back without knocking the other person down?
Yeah, I think it's possible, certainly, to come back without knocking the other person down, depending on how it goes, depending on when the knockdown happens in the actual round, I have it the view from the amateur side, which is a little bit different from the pros, though. It's slight variances, but it's just a little bit different because on the amateur side, you can give an 8 count as an official. You may see an official give an 8 count, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the fighter was hurt. It's really more so to assess the fighter, assess the situation at hand. Because it could be a situation you see a fighter acting like there's something wrong with their shoulder or something of that nature, and you see them wincing and kind of going at that. You can give them an 8 count right there. Okay, and just to make sure they're good or whatever. So that's one example of. But if I see like a legitimate knockdown, I will count that. There have been cases where there have been 8 counts where I don't make it a 10-8 round because 8 counts don't mean that it's not meant to be in that same capacity as it is on the pro side. But if it's a legitimate knockdown, even on the amateur side, hey, I give 8 count. I score it. That's a 10-8 round in my eyes right there as far as I see it. But there is a possibility for them coming back, as I mentioned, depending on where it starts at, because some individuals are fueled by that. They go down, they get back up, and they just go in. They're trying to get that back, and they may just dish out enough punishment, enough clean punching, things of that nature to kind of bring that score back up. At the very least, a 10-9, even if they lose the round, a 10-9 from a 10-8, so it all depends right there. But I know that what I'm looking for in there, it could vary from some others. We have the rule book, so you want to go by the rules in itself. But I do certainly, and I've said this before, I value clean punching. I really do value the cleaner punching that I see where you can physically see it crisply landing right there. But that being said, you have to always have the rule book in mind as far as what's the scoring area, and that's all dictated in the rule book and all of that stuff. So at the end of the day, stick by the rules, and that'll lead you down.
Form in a fight? Do you judge form in a fight? Like the form of a punch? Like
I mean, a punch has to be an actual clean punch.
Yeah, but they look sloppy throwing, right? But they're able to
you don't count it if it's like a slap, for instance. So you have some fighters there and they're slapping with their punches. What you're looking for is a clean punch that they turn over with their punch. Right. You want to turn over that punch. So if they're not doing that, and you see somebody slapping, for instance, then we're not going to count that. And sometimes the referee will warn them, like, hey, you're slapping, and they'll show that motion right there, because you have some that are just winging it, however. And if it's not landing, like I said, in the scoring area, which generally kind of how it is in the pros, basically, then you're not necessarily counting that, So form, that does matter to a certain extent as well. But you have situations, of course, when you have novice fighters where form, that's something that's still being developed, so it can get wild and crazy in there. Those are like the worst ones to deal with.
You want me to tell you almost got us talking about Glovegate there for a second, You want people having their knuckles in the wrong spot. You feel me? We don't need to go there though, but
Ernest, I think we should talk about country music though.
Yeah, that's how you feel. Well, you see, where country started at. You know what, man? I don't think there's enough talk about black cowboys, bro. Y'all act like that. You don't think cowboys was black too? It's been black people in Texas for a long time. Country music goes with cowboys, Okay. I mean, if some of y'all are out there in the mountains with the sheep and shit like that, and you like country music, there's people who ain't out there with the sheep. And they on the farm getting work in. They like country music. They like boot leather.
So what's your gripe right now? What's the issue at hand? Because you just said a couple of statements, but I don't think that people really understand where this is coming from. And I know we're a boxing channel, but this all comes full circle in a way. We don't have to even get into all of it, but the topic that we're talking about right now.
All right, so peep game, right? Y'all know me, Ernest X. You know what I'm saying? When when he show up, you feel me? Like he likes for things to be evenly distributed. You feel me? Equal, whatever, right? So, we are affiliated with a country box, right? We love anything that has to do with boxing, and country box is a unique space where boxing meets country music performance, right? So I've always had the opinion that some country music could be slow and depressing, and it's just really, really sad. It's not upbeat. And as if I was a boxer and I was hearing some sad, depressing music, it would make me feel a certain type of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm like, okay, so how can country music best benefit everybody if it's going to be in boxing? Well, what's better than having, put a little seasoning on it? You feel me? A little brown, you know what I'm saying? A little brown gravy in there with the country music. First of all, black people invented country music. Let's just go there. All right. We invented this shit. The CMAs basically boycotted black artists and country music. So it didn't belong to them to begin with, right? And so, but if you're going to do country music, you need to be inclusive of, especially the people who created it. You can't just boycott it and say it's trash. Motherfuckers got rhythm too. Like, matter of fact, we are the ones with the rhythm and the seasoning. So, you know what I'm saying? Just respect the art as what it is. It's art, and art can be delivered by any type or shape or form of whoever it is. So if you see me clowning country people, it's because of what they said about Beyonce and Shabuzi, right? So if you see me slipping jokes in, you know what I'm saying? You want to know what the origin of it is. You ever heard of BET, Black Entertainment Channel, right? Why did we create that? We created it because we couldn't get recognition on any other channel. You want to know why we created Black Girls Rock? It's because when black women went out and played roles and did stuff equally as better than their equal, their whatever you want to call them, right? They didn't get awards. They still don't get awards. So we create our own stuff, and everybody's like, oh, they're racist because they're going to create their stuff and they don't want anybody else in. No, the truth is that brown people have always invited everybody in. We've always been accepting of everything, but somebody else gets a hold of it and they take it over and they act like they own it and don't want nobody else in there. So if you hear me saying some jokes or see me sliding something in there, I'm smiling, I'm laughing, and that's better than being mad and want to slap somebody up for being disrespectful just because somebody's brown. So
all right,
it's out there.
So me, we already decided I'm the cool, calm, alternate voice in the room. Now, this is a topic that obviously you have recently been interested in. How do we have proof, besides a couple of instances, that these artists are not being embraced?
Easily, it happened at the Country Music Awards. This last one,
Yeah,
Shabuzi, who had the #1 country music song for 17 weeks, won 0 awards.
Right.
Beyonce, who sold more than anybody this year, I mean, outside of Shabuzi, also got no awards because they want to say she's not country. She is country. She's from South Texas, where they have Tex-Mex, and black people have always lived in the country. We work for you motherfuckers in the country. So we country. You get it? So that's what it is.
But we're talking about major radio stations.
Dolly Parton said something about authenticity of the country music, not somebody coming in and just doing a country song for giggles to fit in. So she said something. Oh, go ahead.
I understand that. But we also have to acknowledge that, like other industries, country music is a business and it's an industry. And like all the other industries, they are worried about their bottom line. And that is a separate thing to what the culture is really saying. So how do we know? Because obviously these artists that you are saying exist have some kind of following. How do we not know that the streets are not respecting them and it's not just the industry?
Say that again. The last.
All right, so basically what I'm saying is you're saying that the proof is because they didn't win a award, but
Yeah.
that to me that is more of a commercial, more of a how would you say it? A corporate
Mainstream.
Yeah,
corporate
no, but you
situation.
can't have a mainstream anything where there's an award for talent, right? If you have an award that's for talent, talent doesn't have a color or a face or a skin or anything like that associated with it. So if you set some parameters and say, okay, well, if this person was 17, that's 33% of the year, this person's album was this song was number one. 33% of the year, 17 weeks, and nobody else has done that. And for you not to give that person an award means that none of your awards mean anything.
And you think that has to do with color?
Oh, 1,000%. They're not people in this realm are not ashamed or afraid to admit how they feel. They actually they talk about it openly. There's no shame or guilt about it. That's just how they feel. It's in your face, right? So there was another guy who got a country music award in the same category as the Shabuzi guy. He comes on and he says something about I've been kicking something this whole time, right? And it's like, dang, bro, what is you talking about? And it's like, oh, okay, we get it. You don't want us here, right? The same thing when Beyonce got up there with the Dixie Twins. They kicked the Dixie Sisters or whatever out of country music based off of them doing work with Beyonce. So it's open, bro. So
do you think that also reflects the people that listen to the music? That's basically
yes,
okay.
Yes. People pick a side and they get on it and they stay there, and anything that goes against it is they ain't with it.
In my experience, and this is just me and my experience, I could be wrong. Like I told you, my wife is from the Midwest. Sometimes I get in my car and the country music station is still on and I forget that that's on, and I find myself listening to it and catching and learning some music, you know what I mean? So I hear, Darius Rucker on the country station, who is formerly of Hootie and the Blowfish and things like that. And I'm not really versed, but I also hear the change in the music where it's becoming more pop, more commercial, more mainstream. So when I go to the Midwest and that's what they primarily listen to, they are listening to music that sounds good. I can hear them listening to rap music that they like. I can hear them listening to country music that they like. All different various types of things, because music is kind of one thing that you can't deny. You know for a fact that back when they had the chitlin circuits, that there was certain white people that still came to those events, that still wanted to be a part of that music. So it was the industry that tried to keep people apart. It was the people too at some point, but we know that music was bringing people apart. And the way that we know is because a lot of it was stolen. But if there was people back then that embraced black music, why will we say that there's not people today that are embracing that music, if not more, because the world is even smaller now?
No, we're not saying it's the other way around. It's never the other way around. I mean, okay, so let's say we get into argument about Eminem. So Eminem showed up to a Crawford fight, right? And what people were like, oh, yo, we don't want to hear this concert with Eminem, blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. Eminem's from Detroit, a boxing city, right? And for him to show support for Crawford was great. But you got people in the rap industry to be like, Eminem ain't supposed to be here. There's people that say Eminem's the greatest rapper to ever live, and the people like, yo, what is you talking about, bro? Like, did you forget about, X? We can name 5, 10, 15 other rappers, but you can't exclude Eminem, nor should you exclude Eminem, because Eminem is a skillful artist. You judge them based off of their skill. But in other people's genres that ain't like the genre that we was talking about, they're not accepting of everything. They will never be accepting of everything. It's the position that they choose. So I see it too much.
Okay.
I see it too much, and I'm always have something to say about it, especially.
But this is it though, Ernest. I think that you're in a position to where you can talk to people and you can make them aware of that, and you can actually bring some awareness to the situation and open people's mind to listening to what you say his name was, because I don't.
Shabuzi.
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Oh yeah, that the people, the streets are listening to that song.
Yeah.
And sold out concerts.
Everybody
loves it.
So that's what I'm trying to say. The streets are banging that. I don't understand.
Okay, how come this? How many Oscars does Denzel have?
Maybe you gotta wait until next year. I don't know.
It's just the same system everywhere, bro. That's all. I mean, I didn't really want to go take it all the way there, but we went there.
Nah, but you know what? This is good conversation, and it ties in a lot of life. You could easily tie this into boxing easily.
Yeah, just if you're doing it, just be inclusive. So Jimmy Adams and them, they had a Black country dude that was down there. That was a cold concert they put on during that boxing event.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great show. So I just thought for a second, hey, let me recommend, this artist over here because it's still country music and it could actually bring in a different audience to observe.
How much Shabuzi gonna cost?
No, this is another artist.
All right.
This is another artist. It's the same type of style, right? Yeah. It got some seasoning on it.
Right.
I'm here for the seasoning, bro. There's some people that like seasoning that'll watch boxing too.
But that's what I'm saying, though. If we look through history, it's always been that way.
Right.
So it's like I don't. It's always been that way. Everybody likes seasoning. That's how I got the wife I got.
Okay, so hey, listen, man. Why do they say Koreans got the best fried chicken in the world?
Who said that?
It's the consensus. If you look it up, it'll say Korean fried chicken is considered the best in the world.
That's propaganda.
You know who they got that recipe from, right?
That's propaganda.
Who taught you how to double fry your chicken to get that extra layer on
it? Stop it. Where is this located?
What? Okay. Never mind. We'll talk about this offline.
I got my computer right here.
Google it.
I got me a fryer. I'm trying to do this at home.
Double fry. You gotta hit it twice. You gotta hit it twice.
Extra.
2 times.
That's crazy.
You gotta hit it 2 times, bro. You ain't know nothing about that.
You know about chicken on a stick, bro, in Korea. Chicken on a stick.
Chicken on a stick. Yeah, but that fried chicken recipe.
That's some fried chicken spots.
I'm still confused. Who's saying? I've never even. I didn't know Koreans fried chicken.
Yeah, they love chicken, bro. They fucking eat that. When I was out there,
we
used to get chicken on a stick, bro.
My bad. There's Korean barbecue. Yeah.
It's not barbecue though, bro. By the definition of it's not barbecue. By the definition of barbecue, we won't get
you a bag of yakimandu about that big and shit. Like pour a bunch of soy sauce in that shit.
Chef, you know what I'm talking about.
Fry.
You gotta double fry it, bro. You gotta hit it. You gotta fry it, hit it with that batter again, and go one more time, and that joint's crispy.
Fried.
Oh yeah, I've had
some garlic soy fried chicken, bro. Oof.
You got some
That's the best thing about the world being united is that we can share recipes, but you don't get to take a recipe and say it's yours. Especially when somebody else taught you. You got to give credit.
Shit. You know who comes to mind? Paula Deen. She comes to mind when you talk about that.
That's okay. I mean, Martha Stewart got a pass from Snoop, so You know, I guess it depends on who's giving the passes.
Right. Huh. I don't even know how we got here, but we got here.
It's your fault, man. I didn't want to cook on country too bad like that, but man,
We gotta get Shabuzi on to talk.
Just be
I
fair.
figure we could come full circle and be like, look, pretty soon everybody in the city gonna be singing country, everybody in the country gonna be singing rap music. We all gonna be good. I figured that's where the conversation is gonna come back.
You can't exclude somebody from music. That's ridiculous. You can't do it.
But it's already happening, no doubt about it.
Hey, so what's up with the Tank fight, man? What's up with the venue? Yeah, has anybody heard anything?
Skywalker, he's like, let's bring it back to boxing.
What's the deal with Tank, man?
I don't know. It's March 1st or something like that, right?
New York, right?
That's what we're doing. I don't know.
Oh, they did switch the venue?
That's what I'm trying to figure out is the venue, where it's gonna be at.
Ask Team Mo Boxing, no problem. I saw them post something.
They said that something about the Shakur Cepeda fight too, something like that. That Shakur was trying to negotiate with Cepeda again.
Whatever they do, they need to do it over here on the East Coast. Period.
They said that fight is off because Cepeda got injured in the farmer fight.
Yeah,
I did see something about an injury, or I heard about it at least.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't take that fight to Houston, even if it would sell out. That's just you're robbing the local fans of an experience that they waited a long time for.
I had heard that there was an issue with that date. The initial date is the reason they went to Houston, but maybe it switches up now and they come back here, which would be ideal. I mean, it's not like the Wizards about to do anything anyway.
Right. Yeah, we move that game to sometime next year after they rebuild.
Gary Antoine, when's Gary Antoine fighting? I heard he's gonna have a fight.
I just saw that too.
Yeah, I saw that. Who is he going up against? Oh yeah, Valenzuela, is it? Or
Rayo. He's going up against Rayo. That's a good fight, man.
We need a 140 tournament like OTX just did with the super welters.
Oh yeah,
that'd be great. Because
we didn't talk about a big fight hype, man. A big press conference. They hate each other already. The battle of the Davids. He's looking like David Morrell with that red bandana, with that red Ernest X bandana.
Oh, hey,
I can see
you wearing that red bandana, huh? Morrell.
Hey, man, listen, man. David Benavidez is built like Homer Simpson and Tyson Fury. It looked like he was about 225 in that face-off, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for that fight. Like that's gonna be. I hope it doesn't let us down. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I don't think there's gonna be a letdown because David Benavidez does what he does, and you either gonna fight back or you gonna get pieced up with one of them Street Fighter combos that he got. So David ain't got no choice, and David ain't got no choice. I think that's going to be a great fight, but I think David is he might be on to something, y'all. He's
went
on quite a bit of weight.
Which David?
Might be stronger.
You can't just say David because there's two Davids.
I'm sorry, Benavidez. It looks like he's putting on the weight properly, right? Even though he looks a little saggy, you see how John Jones looked. John Jones took about 2 years to get to heavyweight. David Benavidez looks like he might be doing the weight properly, and he's gonna need a little bit more muscle in order to absorb the punches at that heavier weight. You know what I'm saying? To get some punch resistance. So we'll see what he looks like after this cut. Maybe he's a bit bigger this time when he gets in the ring. And if he's bigger and he still has that same punching output, it's a problem for anybody.
Who you got, Rodolfo? Yeah, Ross says you got Morrell in there. But no, I think it's going to be a good one right there. I haven't seen the press conference. I know about it being announced, and I've seen some announcements for what potentially will be on the undercard. And I think it's pretty solid just from an overall standpoint, from what I recall seeing. But yeah, I think this is a top-notch fight. Too bad we couldn't get Benavidez versus Canelo. Can't live that down. That being said, hey, this is a good consolation prize. The other two guys who were the top at 168 for a period there. Now doing it at 175. But yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Hey, it's tougher than a call right there. I might lean slightly Benavidez here as it currently stands. Who's better technically, of course, is Morel.
Can we do a vote?
With that,
can everybody make their predictions right now?
Oh, okay.
very early.
All right.
It's not too early. They fighting each other. I mean,
Yes.
I'm taking the draw with a draw with the knockdown.
all right, I'll go next. I am on the side of I think that Morel is just still one or two fights not ready. And I think Benavidez is going to use his size and his experience in bigger fights to win. But I have been wrong about that before. So
Yeah. No, I feel you there for sure. I know I'm leaning Benavidez. I think he'll win a decision in all likelihood. I like the experience factor on the pro side. And I think that's what's going to see Benavidez through. And he's going to just continue to, unless Morel can truly back him up, he's going to be walking forward that entire time. And I just like Benavidez's chances there over the course of it.
I'm going David Benavidez as well, man. I just think that David Morel doesn't have as much experience as David Benavidez. They both fought tough opponents at light heavyweight, Gozdick and Hot Rod, which is Champ Ross's twin brother. And
just like
Morel got better feet. David Benavidez got better combos, you know what I'm saying? More explosive on the inside. A lot of times the refs see a lot of the shots being, he overwhelms his opponent with combos, and he gets a lot of stoppages that way. He's not a knockout artist. David Benavidez gets a lot of stoppages, you know what I'm saying? Just overwhelms, high volume of punches. So I'm going to say late stoppage, like rounds 9 or 10, the ref's going to say, he's going to stop it, man. He's just going to see a lot of punches.
Was Morel's
I guess I never mentioned who the knockdown would be for, huh? I think Benavidez hits the canvas in this fight. So I still got it a draw, but I think Benavidez hits the canvas in this fight.
All right. So my question I've been trying to ask is, was Morel's last fight on that Bacau card?
It was when
right after that.
It was on the Crawford card, right? In LA? I know it was on a Riyadh season card.
That was Crawford, because I'm talking about when Jared Anderson got knocked out.
Yeah, it was that one.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
He couldn't get out of the way, man. Hot Rod was that 1-2 straight down the pipe on him.
Oh my God. Look, I feel like go ahead.
The Morel Yerba-Sinelli fight, bro. That shit. If we see that Morel come out, man, that was a vicious Morel, bro. Like if we see that kind of Morel fight Benavidez, because he don't like him or whatever, he's got something to prove. Because that fight was for the Reggie belt, right? Against Yerba-Sinelli, against Eidos Yerba-Sinelli. It was for the WBA Reggie, and he was trying to get a title, bro. He was only 9 fights in, so he had a lot to prove in that fight. So I think it just depends on the fight, man. Like I know he was stepping up. Hot Rod had a good jab, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
I give him credit. I give Hot Rod credit for that. I think he's technically speaking, he was able to do what he needed to do for a good portion of it, at least. And Morel probably thought he was going to get him out of there, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's a little different up there. You got to put the weight on. They hit hard up there. You mess around, end up in the concussion protocol in between rounds, trying to figure out what you got hit with. Hot Rod hit him with a bunch of them, about 20 of them, if I saw it right, straight down the pipe. You can't sit around and watch it work. You know, I say that about Cuban fighters. That's what I've observed. They watch their work. They're a little bit too proud of a good shot that they landed. Meanwhile, the other person's getting off on them. You know what I mean? You got to keep the plan moving forward and stay ahead. Just because you got one, you got to, until it's done. That's it.
No, that factors in right there. I think that a lot of people didn't know Hot Rod. The average or casual fan wouldn't know him, but he came in. He been in with some solid competition. Resume wise, had the better resume when you really look at it. That being said, Morrell did get the victory, so that's a plus for him. We'll just see how he's able to capitalize it. The tough fight he's going into here with Benavidez, so we'll see what he's able to do.
Damn, Tim got a fog machine over there. He got the same fog machine they had in the Thriller.
It was some dry ice, man. I had some dry ice over here, man.
The same fog they had in the Thriller music video. It was coming through the fog.
It's a good fight, man. It could go either way, man. It's a hard pick, huh? And that's what the kind of matchups that we need in boxing, man. We need
that last fight against Hot Rod is why I'm picking Benavidez, because I don't know. I remember the feeling that I had during that fight. Like, Morrell could have been doing better than he was doing against him. Hot Rod's a good fighter, but he wasn't as stable. He's durable.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Benavidez now.
Yeah.
So that last fight is the reason why I am leaning towards Benavidez.
I think Benavidez probably has more tools in his offensive tools. I agree with you guys on the footwork. I believe Morrell's probably I don't want to say more athletic, but I think he has better footwork. But again, it doesn't matter if you got great footwork and no output. What are they going to call you? What was a little guy who they used to hate? He'd probably give you about 10 punches around, if that. But he was a moving bastard. He fought Lomachenko. I can't think of his name. Yeah. That's a style built for people to hate, but it's a thing of beauty to watch if you're a boxing. If you like boxing. But for fans, that is not entertaining at all.
Takes us right back to Shakur Stevenson. I'm still not giving up on that fucking fight that I left early. It brings us all the way back. A master at his craft, but not a master at entertaining everyone. And that's coming from a fighter who can appreciate every aspect of the game. I love a technician. Floyd Mayweather, one of my favorite fighters of all time. But you gotta be able to entertain me to make me a fan.
Like we said on the Country Box, you got to get your CPAP out when it's time for my man. Hey, you know what? Let's put this out there. And will y'all please stop making co-main events trash? You're supposed to build the excitement level up as you get to the main event. You're not supposed to put the people to sleep right before the main event, especially if the main event's going to be a sleeper, because then you're going to have Cameron and Mace out here talking about, and they was right, by the way. You know what I mean? So don't put the people to sleep, man. We here for the entertainment.
It's hard, but it makes for a sour fan, and they got to sell tickets. But speaking of Cameron, and then they put Clarissa Shields in her place the other day too.
I know they've been going back and forth.
Do you see that?
I just got hip to it here over the last day.
She trying to say that she did numbers, but Serrano and Taylor did numbers out of this world.
Yeah. What do you expect when you listen? Anytime you got a person like a Conor McGregor or a Katie Taylor, or Anthony Joshua or Vladimir Klitschko or anybody else that we can name that's a famous person from a country, that whole entire country is supporting that person and There's nothing. Canelo, that whole entire country is really supporting that person, and it gives them a leg to stand on as far as an international show goes. So, and that's why I constantly, y'all hear me taking shots at people. Ain't nobody coming to America and planting your flag here. Period. You take that Irish flag back with you. You could take that Australian flag back with you. You know what I'm saying? When you come here and you got enough money to buy judges and shit like that off, we see the fight. We know you got your ass whooped. We saw it twice. You feel me? So you take your flag back and your money, and let's get this sport back right. Y'all robbed Serrano twice.
I thought Katie Taylor won their first fight.
Two times.
I thought Katie won that first fight.
Shit, I didn't.
But I thought that Amanda won this second fight here. It was
Katie
both of them
lost
close.
her last 3 fights, bro. She gets hit, she get tired, she get the holding, get the head button. You know what I mean? She get it's sloppy.
Her head was sloppy in there.
And to think that somebody could come here and get to sing they international song and don't catch the fade in the audience, like we got soft out here somehow. Everybody stole our style, and now we the soft ones. How?
They had breaking in the Olympics. Remember? Nobody from New York was in that, right?
Hey, man, shout out to Lord Jamar. You know what I'm saying? He challenged everybody just before the Olympics to try to find out, to prove to the world what the origins of breakdancing was in hip hop. And nobody accepted the challenge. And then they got to the Olympics and they made the hip hop, which is an international organization, look like it was trash and that was disrespectful what y'all did. Hip hop music, breakdancing, all that stuff brings people together, and y'all put out a representation that a third grader would be better than.
Have you seen me breakdance? I can breakdance real good, bro. I'm an old man. I got the power. I can spin on one hand. I got the windmills. I got the flares still.
It's been vilified in America, Skywalker.
Be an Olympics, bro. Win that shit.
It's been vilified. I called it. I said it before it happened. One of the Asian countries was going to win because they live it. They live it the same way we lived it when it was popping.
Yeah, it's always been like that too, man.
Put some respect on it.
I see him on TikTok every day killing it.
They got Tim. You know they got beatboxing competitions overseas.
Yeah, I've seen
what? Nobody's giving credit to where it came from. Did y'all forget about the dude who did what was that? The movie, the Police Academy. The dude with the voices.
Oh yeah, he was killing them.
Yeah, man, that dude's a cold dude, bro. Beatboxing, man. We've been doing beatboxing for a long time, but it's international. But if we say we did it, it don't belong to us no more like country music.
Okay. That's funny.
Poppy Tune, write it in stone so that you can see it later on. You feel.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That's the bar right there. Don't get me started.
That's
a bar.
You gotta get it. Let's get it.
Put it in stone so you can see it later on. That's right.
What's the next big event in DC, Josh?
What's up?
What's the next big event in DC out in your area?
We're doing something on the amateur side. We got a banquet coming up in December, so salute to that. But on the pro side, I don't know. We have to wait. Probably 2025, something's going down.
Are you going to be at Richmond for the Nationals?
The Richmond Nationals is happening. Yeah, I plan to be there. I've said that I'm going to be there. I had something else, a wedding come up too. That's that same weekend. That's making me wonder if I need to go to.
Are you going to work the event? Referee it?
I'm sorry. Say again. Sorry.
Are you going to do some refereeing or what?
Oh yeah. I would go there to officiate for sure. Yeah, it's national tournament, Richmond. Some of the best amateurs in the world, or in the U.S. at least, will be there. You know, so
yeah, I think I want to do that, Skywalker. I'm gonna see what's up, man. I think I want to check out that heavyweight shoe, super heavyweight guys. You did because Richmond's about 45 hour.
Yeah. I know some fighters from Albuquerque going up there, quite a few.
Okay.
It's not too
All
far
right.
from me either.
Yeah, Richmond's really close to me. I could
Yeah.
definitely go up there and peep that out.
So yeah, I plan to go and officiate. As I mentioned, I had some other stuff come up too, so I got to work that piece of it out. But my intent is to be there because it's a good opportunity, of course. There's a lot of work, get a lot of work in at those national tournaments because it's just constant, essentially.
Man, if Katie Taylor and Katzourakis were to get together and have a baby, it would really be the juggernaut. No helmet needed. He could just run his head. He could run his head straight through cement. Yeah, I'm cooking. you did one in on me when we started the show. I waited all show to come back and get you.
Hey, let's shout out Raheem, man. What's up, brother?
We'll see you there, Raheem.
Go.
Sending condolences to you there, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro.
The Pro State Gloves going to be up in the upcoming Greensboro, North Carolina show this coming weekend. North Carolina.
Hey, man, make sure you take some time for yourself, Raheem. You know what I'm saying? We here to support you. We mention you on every show. We get, you know what I'm saying? Skywalker's rocking your hats. You feel me? Just make sure you take some time for yourself, playboy.
Yeah, bro.
Sure.
That's it. You get the work will be there.
Indeed. You know, so we'll see what's up. Let me see real quick. I just want to see what's coming up. Because I know about that time on that thing. We got Sonny Edwards caught Galal Yafai.
Yeah.
That's coming up Saturday, 30 November.
I was gonna say Yaffe, but
but I think that's a darn good fight right there. I like Sonny Edwards in it, but some people are gonna go Galal Yafai. But I think you're gonna get to see some good technical work. It might end up being a stoppage too.
A stoppage by Yafai?
I don't know, man. But Sonny,
you're gonna have to make a choice at some point.
Sonny's good too, bro.
Sonny's real good, but Yafai.
I'm going Sonny Edwards. I can tell you that right now. I'm going Sonny Edwards.
No pushover.
His brother just fought, bro, and whooped some ass the other day, didn't he? What's his brother's name?
Kai Yafai?
Charlie Edwards.
Oh, Charlie Edwards. Okay. I thought about Yafai brother. Okay,
nah,
yeah.
Sonny's brother looked good the other day. I was like, damn, bro, he had a good fight the other day.
So y'all about this movie that Denzel was just in?
I need to go see it. I want to see it in theaters. I'm about to go watch it here shortly.
You know
for sure.
I'm talking about Tim?
Gladiators 2.
Yeah. So let me tell y'all something, right? Just put it in perspective because I don't want y'all to get caught slipping by watching some of these fights that are international. The Persian Empire is Iran. That's one of the only places in the world that's never been conquered, right? They got motherfuckers that can fight there too. There's a reason why they ain't been conquered besides the way the land looks. They got people that got combat skills, and for them to get out of there and to be able to demonstrate what they can do, you're starting to see a lot of Arabic looking, Middle Eastern looking dudes that are in there that are real slick. They got crazy foot movement, left-handers, southpaws, really skilled. Don't be surprised if some of the people that y'all are familiar with don't get stopped. And Yafai is one of them guys. I'm on record. I just said it. It's out there. So don't be surprised if we come back here and Yafai and got him out of there faster than Bam did. Don't be surprised. It might get ugly in there, bro.
Okay.
Maybe we can say Bam did damage first, but Yafai he's nice, bro.
Yeah, he is. I like him. He's got a high ceiling for sure. So this is gonna be a step up for him. This is gonna be his toughest fight. We'll see if it's Sonny's toughest.
Sonny's a cold. Listen, bro. Listen, hey, I think I had. Did I go with Sonny by a split decision in the Bam fight? I think I did pick Sonny, man. And then Sonny came over here and decided
I picked Bam.
Yeah, he was gonna stay in the pocket and bang it out with Bam. That was the dumbest thing I ever seen in my life.
I was in Phoenix too, bro. Should have went. That would have been a good fight to go to.
Bro, he did the same thing Adams did. Yeah, let me go in here and just get up against the ropes with a power puncher. No, that is not what you do, sir.
I picked Katzourakis in that Adams fight by SB. That's why I was third this week.
Man, listen, bro. Congratulations on making the podium, bro. I'm so salty about that ring size. When I saw the ring size, I was like, oh, I got them all wrong.
Sharp contrast to that ring that Mike Tyson was in with Jake Paul, right? Sharp contrast right there. The ring does matter. I saw it. I said, that thing huge right there. But I knew that something was up.
You know what? Listen, man. Jake Paul, thank you for what you've done for women's boxing and bringing the attention to it. But all attention ain't good attention, my dude. Let me tell you something. Mike Tyson is a motherfucking legend in the sport. You should have picked somebody else to go make yourself look good on. You get me? You dig? Like, and for all the real boxing fans who love the sport, y'all some mark ass busters for supporting that bullshit.
You woke me up, Ernest. You woke me up.
Yo, man, listen, man. We didn't get to cook on this because we was doing something else.
Listen, real quick. Where else was Mike Tyson gonna make 20+ million in one night?
Not about the money. All money ain't good money.
What?
All money ain't good money.
It was about it for Mike.
That he didn't lose though. He didn't lose. How can you lose at 58 years old?
Boxing lost.
How?
Boxing lost. Mike Tyson. He let somebody come put their nutsack on an icon, bro.
We saw one of the greatest women's boxing matches I have seen.
We did.
And forever. And then the fight before that. Barrios.
They were incredible. That's why I'm giving credit to what he's done.
Look, he gave one of our legends the biggest payday that anybody. Mike Tyson was not making 20 million in one night anywhere else. Nowhere. Okay.
So dinner for or with schmucks is what this is.
Well, I mean, what do you mean?
You get you're the guy that got the funny. You built funny. You got a short arm. You in the wheelchair, and your left ear hearing and your left ear don't work. But you at a mansion, and you got the best food you could possibly get. But the motherfuckers across the table is sitting there looking at you like, damn, this motherfucker built funny, bro. Like, look at his mother. He stuttered when he talked. He drew when he leaned over. He got to talk through a voice thing because he was smoking and shit like that. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna. It's disrespectful what's happening, bro.
But where? Besides,
it was sanctioned.
But where besides them basically sparring, do you see Mike getting embarrassed? I don't see him being embarrassed at all.
They use Mike to sell the event.
$20 million. You can use me for 20 grand right now.
You could?
Right now.
Damn.
I'm just not saying that. But how did they use Mike? How?
You think Jake Paul would have sold out Cowboy Stadium?
All right, so
you think he sells out Cowboy Stadium without Mike?
Look.
Well, no.
You think anybody sold out anything without Mike? You got to blame the promoter before Jake Paul, Don King, all of them. Don't just put it on him.
It was a heist.
They all heist Mike.
It's a heist. I don't like it. Listen, I'm just putting it on record that I don't like what they're doing. It looks bad, bro. Historically, they just turned Mike Tyson into the Truman Show. It's
it could have been way worse. You know what it could have been? It could have been when Larry Holmes fucking finished off Muhammad Ali.
Another one I didn't like.
That was way worse than what just happened.
It's a clown show. And this has been an established thing where you got people who are so great that anybody wants an opportunity just to go there and see it. What Jake Paul is he's selling hate. At every event that he's went to, he's the main attraction. And when he comes out, he gets booed, my guy. He's booed at
Who
every
else did
single
that?
place. They're selling us a fucking lipstick on the pig, bro.
Yeah.
They're telling you that the turkey drumstick is turkey, but when in actuality is pork, and you a Muslim and you eating it.
All right, so this is what we're not doing. We're not taking it for what it is, and that's what we have to do. You already knew since Jake Paul's first fight that this is what he was about. So I don't know why you would expect anything different in this fight. You can't.
So as a pro, let me ask you this. Okay, Jake Paul, this is what Jake Paul said. Jake Paul said that he was waiting his entire life to fight Mike Tyson, bro. As a person who was a boxer from a child, you in the sport, you getting your head bust in every day, and you finally make it. You could say, hey, I've been wanting to fight this guy my entire career. I knew I was going to get at him. But for somebody to be a culture vulture and go from being a corny dude to being like the face of boxing, and you don't have an official boxing.
Hey, Shannon Sharp, I got to cut you off real quick,
Okay,
all right? Yo, Mike Tyson is not a boxer right now. You talking about Mike from 1980, 1990. You gotta get it out of your mind. Mike was sitting on his couch fucking smoking weed. He's not a fighter. So you gotta take the fight for what it was. He's 58 years old. You have to take the whole situation as a different circuit. You're not going to watch a Jake Paul fight and treat it like a professional boxing match. You're not.
So why was it sanctioned as a professional boxing match?
I don't know.
We just saw Oliver McCall.
I don't agree with that.
I'm glad he did it. I'm glad that Oliver McCall did it now, because Oliver McCall, he beat Mike Tyson's record by 3 or 4 days as being the oldest boxer to have a real match. Oliver McCall was in a real fight, bro. He was getting stole on heavy. My man was working the jab on him tough, and Ali caught him in the second round, and it was a real fight. So, and it was sanctioned fight, so they shouldn't have sanctioned it. It would have just, if they kept it as an event, okay,
this
cool.
This is my answer to that. This is my answer. I'm not sure if that was really sanctioned. I wasn't sure before the fight happened, because I couldn't believe that a sanctioning body would let, unlike Oliver McCall, where they were both 50s in their 50s. Yeah. I cannot fathom anywhere around the world.
It's Texas. It's state by state, remember?
I know. I'm talking about in the world that would sanction a 58-year-old who hasn't had a real boxing match in how many years against someone who is 27 years old, and let's just say he never had a real boxing match himself. But the discrepancy in age, the health issues that we know that Mike Tyson had, there is no way that if they had to take the right test to there's no I know for 100% it would not happen in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. It would never happen. So
or Vegas.
Vegas. Oh, yeah. I had discrepancies before the fight even happened. People were asking me, who do I think would win? I kept saying, I don't know if this is even going to be a real fight. We won't know until it happens. Then look what happens. Nobody goes and knocks each other out. We already know it's 2-minute rounds, which I don't know how you sanction an 2-minute male fight. I don't know how that works. Even a pro debut professional has 4 3-minute rounds. So
hey, I'm just going by off of what was reported, and it was reported that the fight was sanctioned. It was reported that both fighters were suspended by the sanctioning bodies afterwards.
I don't believe anything on that. I don't believe anything. It could be fake news. Okay, I don't. And you know that Jake Paul is an influencer. You know he has millions of dollars. You know he was the promoter. Any information coming out from that event goes through him.
Okay, so I still stand by what I said as far as it being a heist. There were betting odds on the fight.
Yeah, there were betting odds.
So if you're telling me that we got let's just say the fight wasn't sanctioned. Let's just say it wasn't sanctioned. And if the fight ain't sanctioned and you put betting odds up there for people to bet on the fight, if you already know what the result of the fight is, then you owe some people some money.
Do you think that they don't vote? I mean, they don't bet on the Undertaker beating Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania?
Do they? I don't
That's
know.
true.
Yes, they
They
do.
do that. They do bet
Oh,
on
they
wrestling.
do that, and you know that is fake.
But there's a lot of heists going on then.
You know, so the bet, if you put your money on that bet, that's you. People bet on fake shit all the time. You know, the simple fact is, I don't believe that it was sanctioned. I don't believe so. They put it on last because you can do that. You know, you why wouldn't you put Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor on the main event?
Well, see, but
Championship fight,
okay.
world championship right there.
That takes me back to my other point. If you Jake Paul and you out here trying to get exposure for certain other types of fighters, why are you stealing the you're stealing the light from them?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it seems parasitic. And I don't like motherfucking parasites, bro. I'm
not understanding.
So he's leeching. He's
off of Mike.
It feels like he's stealing from the sport. That's what it feels like to me.
Well, I would say that fight certainly was built off of Mike Tyson's name, but spectacle has long been a thing in the sport of boxing in terms of you've had these weird spectacle type fights that have taken place. This is even dating way back, where hey, it's a form of entertainment in some sense. So my thing with Jake Paul is I think that he's brought some eyes and things of that nature to the sport. I'm not necessarily against it, but of course I can't take him serious as a legitimate fighter who's competing for a world championship or anything until he actually goes down that path. So right now, I view pretty much all of his fights as kind of spectacle.
Could you imagine?
Two different circuits. You have pro boxing and you have this YouTuber social media circuit. And we have to be able to, in our minds, be able to separate the two. All right. You have more than Jake Paul. You have KSI. You have a whole bunch of people out there making money off of this. Jake Paul has just been someone that's been able to do amazing at it. But us as boxing enthusiasts, us as boxing purists, we have to be able to tell the difference and accept both as two different sports.
All right.
That Misfits thing is making money. Apparently, they've been doing a bunch of pay-per-view. That's Misfits Boxing, which KSI.
They killing it, bro.
Promos of them, and these are like YouTubers and stuff.
Killing it, and I think they should stay in that lane. If you will the Misfits is a league of its own. Stay in that damn lane. It works for y'all, but don't pretend like you real boxers, man. It's disrespectful to the people who put it on the line from childhood. And another thing, could you imagine the audience is not the same, bro? Yeah, you got 100,000, 80,000, 70,000 people out there, but that's disrespect. They were out there like, could you imagine Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor in Cowboy Stadium with actual boxing fans? It's like they didn't even get excited until Jake Paul was in the ring. It was just awkward and weird. And a bunch of celebrities out there, a motherfucker eating cereal in a gamer's chair right in front of the ring. That I was hoping some blood landed in that shit, bro. Like, it's disrespectful, man. You motherfucker got a recliner chair up here because you paid $2 million for some recliner chair seats to eat some cereal.
I don't believe
got one of the greatest boxing legends of all time right there. Like, if I was Mike Tyson, I'd have jumped out the ring and bit that nigga's ear off. You feel me? Like, don't you ever disrespect, boy. Like, that's crazy.
Hey, this is what someone's willing to pay. Someone was willing to supposedly pay that about.
I have a biting fixation. Come on, man. Don't ask Mike that. Mike, why was you biting on your glove? Bro, I was feeling it, bro. I was.
Look, yeah, he had a biting sensation.
Let me ask you a question. Were you upset when Mike went to the WWE, whatever you want to call it, and did his thing over there?
No, I wasn't mad when Mike went over there. I wasn't mad when Floyd went over there. I was glad Ronda Rousey got her bitch ass up and went over there. You know what I'm saying? I was pissed off when Brock Lesnar brought his steroid using ass over to UFC to fight clean fighters, but he's sanctioned because he's a shit show too, right? I'm glad my man that was in the UFC kicked him dead in his stomach with all this diverticulitis or whatever the fuck you call it. I'm glad he got kicked in the stomach and sent him back to WWE because it's disrespectful to the sport. Again, people are putting their lives on the line, and when you go out there and you do that, you're doing it for real. You've earned a level of respect as a warrior.
All right, so
you can't be a fake warrior.
How do we come to a solution to where Mike and Jake can do what they do? You can see it as respectable, and Mike still be able to earn $20 million.
Never.
It's not going to happen, right?
It wouldn't have happened ever.
It wouldn't have happened.
I'm cool with it. I think it should be listed as an exhibition, and I'm all for it.
Yep, but
nobody would buy it.
My issue is with the sanctioning thing.
I don't know. I think people would have still gotten it. You never know what can happen in an exhibition as well. That being said, I'm cool with Jake Paul being involved, but yeah, he has built his name. I think that's his stick. He's fighting these fighters with names who are retired or MMA guys who are retired, and that's what's been able to garner a lot of attention for him. I think people are interested in the spectacle of that. But when he says things like, "Oh, I will be world champion, whatever weight," he only has really two choices. That's going to be cruiserweight or heavyweight. I don't take him serious.
Yeah, I just feel like he's perpetrating, bro. It's like you ain't no gang member, bro. Like if you wear a bunch of red or a bunch of blue and you go to one of them real neighborhoods, they go check your temperature, right? They go.
Well, he hasn't been in with anybody like that as of yet.
They can check your temperature, so you can't just allow people to just walk through your front door and go put food in your microwave and start eating and sit on your couch. You can't do that. You got to put some respect on it.
They just social media keyboard dudes that they found their way.
I don't. So if the level of success that Jake Paul has is where Ryan Garcia should be, right? Jake Paul is a fake Ryan Garcia. Yeah. Ryan Garcia is a real boxer,
or
real skills.
Or is it the other way around? Is Ryan Garcia a fake Jake Paul?
I always thought I used to say that Ryan should be the king of misfits. I used to say that because he's good with trolling. I used to say that.
Right.
But he proved himself.
He could box. I always thought he was a pretty solid boxer.
So I would never call him a fake boxer. He really went in there and took them shots from Tank. He really went in there, whether he was souped up or not, and beat Devin ass. He really did that. He really went in there with an Olympian, Luke, the dude from Europe, got dropped, got up, put him down, and got a championship. So you got to give him credit as a boxer, even if he is a filthy cheater. You know what I mean?
He has an amateur background, so he didn't just come out of nowhere. He had a background in the amateurs, so he's legit. Ryan was legit.
I just think it's disrespectful, bro. That's it.
But what about though the millions that he's making real boxers though?
It's a heist.
That doesn't make up for it. I'm talking about the active fighters that he's making money for.
So what we got to do is there needs to be something that's put out about what Serrano's purse was for that fight.
Supposedly there's 6.1 between the two of him, or between her and Katie, 6.1 apiece. That's what I saw, but I don't know.
Million?
Yep, validity is the highest ever for women.
That is incredible, and that's why I prefaced what I was saying is I was happy for what he was doing for the women, but it's like he's okay. They're getting 6 million, 3 million each, which is probably 110 times, 15 times as much as they ever made. I remember Clarissa complaining about not having made $1 million yet. Bro, she's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Like, she's supposed to have a level of fame.
Yeah, she need to get with Jake Paul.
Unbelievable.
She need to get with Jake Paul.
So she
Matter
got to
of
go
fact,
get with something fake.
that need to be his next fight. Matter of fact.
Yeah.
I would bet on Clarissa. I
Yeah,
promise
for
you I would.
sure.
I
That need to be
promise
his
you I'm
next
betting on
fight. Matter of
Clarissa.
fact.
But it would just be a setup. If they say it's an exhibition, okay. But if they're saying it's a sanctioned fight, it's like, come on, bro. So y'all sanction him to fight a 58-year-old. Now you sanction him to fight a woman.
They're not
Y'all
gonna
need to
do
get
that.
y'all sanctioning body approvals
Woman
removed from you
that'll
by
whip
somebody.
his ass though.
Well, I want to see him fight a real fighter, bro. Yeah. Something that's a real threat and ain't nobody paid nobody to do nothing. Let's see what your hands really do. You know, let's see what really happened. Because I seen Mike hold some punches back that 100% would have slept him.
I think that'll put the fuse out, if he fights a real boxer who's like on the come up or something like that.
I'm gonna get him hyped and
That'll
send Tim his way. We're gonna
out. That'll put the fuse out on what he actually is in the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Tim, you a fighter, would you?
So, of course I would, but I've been Ernest. You're gonna kill me, man. You're gonna kill me.
He's got a big size advantage over
Yeah, he got
weight wise.
I'm 175 now, but
skills
you're gonna kill me because I'm
all you gotta do is talk a little trash.
I don't even want to talk my truth to you because you got the X on top of your head and everything. But for me, it's like this. I'm 40 years old, bro. Next Friday, I'm 40 years old, so I'm like, it might benefit me more to be with him than to even try to fight him. I would definitely fight him, no problem. But look, why don't you be or him or Jimmy Adams? Why don't they be some of the people that starts the master leagues for the retired fighters that still want to fight?
They might be on to something. I mean, if you having them face each other, I tried to get Ollie to start talking trash to Shannon Briggs because Shannon is with the smoke.
Yeah,
let's go, champ.
There's so many of us, you know what I mean? And there's so many of us that aren't doing anything that if they knew that they could have a fight against another person that is fair, they would get off their couch and start training, go to the gym. They would be on social media more. It will wake them up. I know it's dangerous, you know what I mean? But as fair as we can make it, I think that they should do that. Alvin McCall, versus Shannon Briggs now. Who wouldn't want to tune into that just to see what happened?
I know Iran Barkley, he wants to fight. He said he wants to go out on his own terms. He said that last year.
No disrespect. Oh man, y'all got me. I should have been off of here an hour ago.
I know.
I woke him up.
So I mentioned a couple of times that I've interviewed like 20 something former world champions within the last 2 years or something like that. One of them happens to be Iran Barkley, and I don't think that he should be fighting. Some of these fighters should get different kinds of jobs inside of boxing still. You have a retires boxing league, make them trainers, bring some trainers in, bring some in as journalists, reporters, field agents, recruiters, some of them. But we still have to have some kind of health standard. I'm not just saying put two guys together.
No, right.
A lot of guys that still want to fight because they got mental issues, not because they can. It's because their brain is skipping. They still stuck, So there still has to be some kind of evaluation, but there is a place for some of us, to still compete. Who's gonna put their money up for it? I don't know, but look. Let's just say you tell Oscar De La Hoya he can fight Shane Mosley, again. That's a fight.
Yeah.
That's a fight right there.
Yeah, Oscar coming to the ring in a banana hammock and a fishnet top. But have OnlyFans tattooed on his leg in the vertical position.
Right. Let's get Ricky Ham versus Fernando Vargas. They both heavy now. So
Yeah,
let's get
Ricky
on to
had
the
got down a good bit. Couple
Hey, she
when he
said
did
what's
an
up,
exhibition
y'all.
like a year or so ago. Ricky got down a good bit.
Ricky still got a little bit. His last pro fight was off, but
Yeah,
he that was after coming back after like 5-10 years.
yeah. But no, hey, I think he could be on to something. I think there's a reason there's a master league in the amateur side or a masters
Yeah,
division and all that stuff because
he
you have
one of the pros.
people want to get in there.
Hey,
There's,
Jimmy
there's,
Adams has the perfect venue for it.
there's a lot of us pros that didn't retire because of getting hit hard or injuries. We retired out of other circumstances, you know, or injuries that weren't, uh, brain related. You might have something that healed, but it just didn't heal at the right age or something. So there's a lot of fighters that still have their faculties that still they even still train themselves,
Oh yeah,
that would love to come back and compete. One of my good friends, Steve USS Cunningham.
USS
You know, see
Cunningham.
this.
He's
He's good,
newly retired, but he tried to do bare knuckle and all that.
and he's always in tip top shape too.
Always in tip top shape. There's tons of us like that. So, Jake Paul, you got enough money. Even Turk. I always mess up his name. Turk
Ali
Sheik
Sheik.
Ali. Al
Yeah,
Sheik. Even them. You bringing out these singers and all that, which is great. How about we have a legacy match on one of these shows?
Well,
I was
And
going.
build it up.
The funny thing, I was thinking maybe Turkey. He's like the answer to what we see with the Jake Paul stuff in terms of course, he's got money. They're shelling out. They're trying to put on the best fights. We can get the legitimate ones and all that. Then add that element to it, which you just mentioned there, Tim. That could be something for sure.
Let's get some legacy fights. You already got, Roy Jones risking it. You know what I mean? The other people risking it. Let's even up the playing field and let everybody understand that this is the masters of pro boxing.
man, I would have rather seen Jake Paul and Roy get at it.
And no.
I don't know about Roy.
No,
Roy
Oh
Puncher this
yeah,
is gone.
Jake said he's a boxer.
Roy's
So
punch resistance is gone.
You would have been at Jake Paul house trying to fuck him up if he would have fought Roy Jones.
you think he would have got it, bro?
Yo, Roy is my man. I know him, the nicest guy in the world. But
You think Jake Paul will get him, bro?
Roy, his punch resistance is gone. Yeah, hey,
He's done.
we
Paul ain't
love
never
Roy.
had no
One
punch
of the
resistance.
best to do it.
He's
But
done, man. He's done.
he's
Jake Paul ain't
done.
been hit yet. He's not been hit properly.
But the thing is, Jake, you saw he came in 227. Paul or Tyson was 228 or something like that, or a pound under or something like that. I know they were right around the same weight.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about it. He got size and youth on his side, and of course he's been training and all that stuff here for the
Roy
past 5
Jones
years.
got knocked out by Enzo Macronelli like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Right. That's crazy, right? When you think about it, right? That's
The one
10
thing
years
Jake
ago.
Paul won't do that he didn't do was violate the North American Free Trade Agreement. He did not exchange with Mike not once.
Nah.
You see what?
Hey.
Mike might have blacked out on him and messed the whole contract up. Whatever it was, I don't like to get robbed. I take it personal.
Maybe yeah, I want to see Jake take on one of these young cats on the come up who are in that prospect stage. The weight might be an issue, but Khalil Cole or somebody like that. I want to see him in there with a guy like that.
There's nobody he can fight. And there's a dude right now in each one of your towns right now training at an MMA gym that'll wash Jake Paul.
Oh yeah. I've said it before. There's some amateurs that I know that would beat him.
Yeah, so it's not he's not going to do it. Hopefully his part of the show ends soon and somebody else comes up and takes it over or something like that. But he's not going to risk it all. He already did it with Tommy Fury, and look what he said. Fuck this. Went right back. Went right back into his shit.
We need a Manchurian candidate. We need somebody who can talk a lot of shit that act like they don't know how to box to get in the ring with him and really have some skills and just thump his ass. I want to see him get thumped real good.
Not gonna be. It's not gonna happen.
If they
That's why man.
Didn't he fight that undefeated dude that had his right foot was on the wrong side, his left foot was on the other side?
Tomato can?
The dude was like 13-0 or something like that.
Tomato can?
the dude he knocked out within like 20 seconds.
Yeah. He got the record like them.
You can find somebody to beat, of course.
I seen South Africans that they were like 48-0 with 47 knockouts. Yeah, motherfuckers, and they themselves were the Uber drivers. Hey. Get in the ring with somebody and get slept in the first 15 seconds. It's not real.
Hey, there's some cats out there with some souped up records for sure. You can find.
Guys, I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
it's
11-11. Make a wish. Yeah. Find
good
somebody to hug.
I gotta train for that fight I got coming up. Yeah.
Hey,
happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Oh yeah,
coming up. Turkey Day. Celebrate.
If
respect to the ladies out there.
That turkey leg is real thick. Don't trust it. Turkey's got bony legs. Skinny. And I think
you the salute.
Those, huh?
Yes, sir. But hey, we appreciate everybody coming through, man. Conversation right here. Tune in again.
Yes, sir. Don't eat the
Poppy Tune Yayo. Heavy on the poppy, light on the yayo. I got it right there. But thanks, everybody. Appreciate you coming through.